Time to unmute myself. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new Sandstorm Masterclass show. I am very happy today to have the people from another town. In case you didn't know, Sandstorm recently has been onboarding a lot of new virtual worlds in their partnership program. We want to help all the different virtual worlds to get easy way to get access to creators, and another town is one of them. So happy to see you guys. I'm very, very proud to meet you this evening. Hello, Robin, Bay, Sean, and Hayon. How are you doing tonight?
Very nice,
Or
and
in the
It was so
morning.
good.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, actually, it was quite difficult to set up this show because of all the time zone differences. I'm sure you have this problem a lot if you work with American companies. How are you doing today? How is your Saturday morning? Anything exciting that will happen in the day? Did you eat a nice morning dish?
yes, very nice. And this is a Saturday morning, and we came here for this live sessions. And last day, we got some dinner. So it is too very. I feel very nice to give this live session. You, to American companies and creators, we are uh, so proud of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think today will be a really interesting one. We'll talk about a lot of different things. For anyone who doesn't know, the program today will be split in 3 different sections. First, we'll do a short introduction. We'll present your project. You guys will explain what another town is about, what you're trying to build, what your solution is. In the second phase, we'll focus more so on the creators, which means how is it actually possible to build in your world? How is it possible to get involved? And I think that's what most are interested in here. And finally, we'll do an open format with questions. So if anyone in this presentation has questions or wants to ask something, it will be at the end. We'll take some questions and answer anything that you have on mind. So to start with, maybe I think we can start with Robin with the overall presentation of your project. If you want to explain it in maybe a few sentences, what is another town about?
Yes, thank you very much. And I'm Robin, CEO of this company, and Enter Reality, and this company for metaverse and AI technology to innovate the communication. So we provide another town. Our metaverse product is for today. I show you briefly about our visions and technologies and skills for your creating some virtual spaces from now on. Yes, Enter Reality is a company that presents a new paradigm of communication with AI avatars implemented with a generative AI and VR technology. And yes, this is a 3D communication platform for creators and fan communities and IP, brand IP users. And these products are based on generative AI and low latency 3D experience technology and single webcam real-time motion tracking technology. So in another town, users from various cultures can meet and communicate and conduct economic activities based on avatars. And users from 42 countries are currently using it and as a fan communities and photo album. I can show you some
Is
pictures.
your main usage mostly on individual users, or is it more so for enterprises and full companies that are using it as a service to have a room, 3D room?
Yes, actually, both of them are using our platform, and fan communities and members can use it. But enterprise solution is also using our product. So, so this kind of product is for making new market or new business. So both of them is our main customer, but we are targeting on some fan communities and creators per person. So we are developing the technology such as AI avatar to interact with different cultures. So yeah, that is our vision to communicate and innovate communications.
did you build this AI avatar tool yourself? Is everything hand built? What you did?
Yes, actually, that is our core technology. We are making our AI avatars for our own technology. That is three technologies for based on generative AI making new avatar, similarly as a person. And
Nice.
yeah. And the second one is low latency, maximize the performance for interactions real time.
Which engine are you built on?
The engine is Babylon.js from Microsoft. You know that, not
Okay.
on Unity. Yeah, it is very nice. You know that?
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I think I read a little bit about it, but I never used it. I'm sure it has some interesting
Yes, I heard.
aspects.
Actually, it is based on JavaScript, so many people can make it for easily, better than some Unities and Unreal engines. Yes, yes. Maybe it'd be better to make it new effects for assets for creators. Yes.
When did you found your company? When was this created?
Actually, our company is made in 2 years ago, about 2 years. It's a new startup.
Nice.
Yeah. So
How was this process? Was it stressful?
I didn't sleep for 1 year.
Okay.
Yes, maybe you also didn't sleep, right?
I didn't sleep much either. I think you can see it in my underneath my eyes. But did you? So you exist since 2 years. This is already a nice feat for a startup, I think, to be able to survive this long. I mean, I think startup Sandstorm, we also exist since a bit less than 2 years actually. So we're kind of on the same time frame here. What was maybe just from an interesting point of view? Now you've been building in this metaverse for 2 years. Before it was a hype. I suppose you were in this space with 3D worlds, 3D spaces. How did your vision evolve in this space over the course of the years?
Actually, our members from some human body synthesizing AI technology company. So I worked in that company. So we thought that the future is for communication by avatars in virtual spaces. We thought that is a future communication. So we made this platform for communicating people to people or from countries to countries. Yes. So we made it by another
Nice.
town. Yeah.
And in another town, I see here with this slide, you can do all of the different things. You can do a showroom, education, e-commerce, institution. So it means you can play a video in your world and anyone can watch it at the same time.
Sure.
You can have professors who do it. Would you mind going more into detail as to everything that you can do? Ideas?
Yes, maybe if you come there, we providing some business features and communication community features. And this one is for business plan, administrator tool for attendees management, and communication tools for video chat and text chat for conference.
Nice.
And a live presentation, such as a screen sharing for making presentation with you and me. And I can use the emoji or motions into this platform, like spatial.io. They are using for making Ready Player Me avatar for interacting with people, and we provide the AI avatar by own technology for our company, and we are making some customized motion tracking avatars to interact with people. Yeah.
So that's your advantage compared to Ready Player Me.
Yes, well, we are. Yeah, that is a key point for our technology for this product. Yeah, sure.
Nice. I definitely think the meeting recording, etc. It's kind of a 3D version of Zoom. right?
Yeah.
If you can think about this. Has this been popular amongst companies? Do they use it in conference and for their day-to-day meetings?
Yes, especially in South Korea, many people are using our platform for business, but I think that the more than business pain point, I think that avatar technology for communication is useful, especially for communities, for K-pops and entertainments and contents, animations. They are familiar with the gamification UI for people to be for creations, making economic assets for and interacting by comments and likes, like social SNS. Yes, we are targeting to our solution and avatars to the kind of market for entertainment and K-pop.
Very cool. How do you see? Do you see a difference between Korean markets and American markets and companies?
Yes, maybe American market is our next level, and we are preparing to go to the American market, and maybe it is larger, and the people are from many kinds of countries and cultures. We have to target some various cultures and brands and IPs for their needs in communication with avatar. I think it's more bigger and harder to penetrate. Give me some tips for American markets.
I can give you some tips. I mean, we're working together, so I'm sure we can find a lot of creative ways to get started there. But I definitely think your avatars should look great. And are those clothes also AI generated?
Oh yes, some kind of assets is generated by AI, but some kind of them we are made it. So we are planning to launch some Twinny.ai. It is for avatar solution. It's around June, and we hope to get some creators for clothes for into Sandstorm June.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Nice to hear. I'm sure a lot of people will love doing those, even for other worlds. Like I'm sure you heard of Decentraland and even in spatial and even in other types of virtual worlds, they really like creating accessories because I think it's also part of how you express culture. So I think it's a really nice way to get involved, and I really like what you're doing here. Awesome. I mean, I think it's pretty clear. So for you, what is your goal? What is your you talked about your vision, but what would be your dream kind of scenario with your platform, let's say 5 years from now?
That's the key point for our dream in another town is for I said that we are innovating the communication for futures by avatars and by your creator for making the spaces, for making new experience for virtual species. So especially first step is for community such as contest K-pop. Next level is realistic another communication by business or some kind of everything. So
do you think all businesses will be in 3D, work in 3D spaces in the future?
Not the whole of them, but we are have some ideas for spatial market for making 3D spaces. Yes, we're making some solution for that.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's but I mean, I'm asking some, a little bit more creative and difficult questions, but I think it's super cool what you do. And if you scroll back up, I think the capacities you have, even for businesses and for companies or people to get together and exchange, are really nicely made. So really nice work there, I have to say. I see that Iratos in the chat is asking which software you're using to make the clothing. So maybe if you want to comment on this right now, and then we can go into the tech specs just after. I don't know who wants to take this question.
Anyone?
We now for generating some assets, we use Blender. Yes. So now
Yep.
we use the Blender to make the clothes.
Very cool. So I think that's an awesome intro. I think it's very clear what you do, and I'm looking forward to the progress of your platform. And now I think let's get into the part that most people are really interested in. I think how to build in your world. Let's listen to Bay, I think, who will go over the technical specs. First, who are you, Bay? If you want to introduce yourself in a few sentences.
Hi, I'm Robert Bay, TPM from Actuality. Would you upload my slides?
Yep. One sec.
Yeah.
We're preparing this in the background. Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Today I will briefly introduce the guidelines that we've already shared. Do you guys have these guidelines?
Yeah, I think we have them, and what we will do is we can present them on stream at the moment, and then we will share them afterwards to our community, so they will have everything. There's no problem.
Okay. So here we go. The order of the presentation will proceed as follows. For the very first chapter, general, another town is primarily being developed using Blender. So this document is also written based on Blender. If you're using a Blender already, then I think there should be no issues. And for formats, it is mentioned that another town supports the GLB format. So you must export your space as GLB. And for scale, I think there may be some confusion creators in US, because the scale unit is set to 1 unit equals 1 meters, not inch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
And about status of assets, when you use an externally purchased assets, it is mandatory to use assets that are commercially available. It's a very important point. All right. How general information so far? Let me introduce about the basic information for modeling assets for another town. The first one is about coordinate system. It's something like mathematics, but simple. Some points to note when modeling for another town. Coordinate system. Another town uses Y-up right-handed system, but while Blender uses a Z-up coordinate system, which means you must set the direction in Blender 0, -1, 0 will be converted to 0, 0, 1 in another town. So when creator working in Blender, the spawn point should be set to 0, -1, 0. That's gonna be a 0, 0, 1 in another town. See?
So for whoever reads this and listens to this, I think you will need to be careful about how you do the scaling and the directions to make sure everything is properly converted. Perfect.
So let's go another chapter for modeling assets. There are some points to consider when modeling assets, such as stairs, fences, chairs, tables, and so on. It is recommended to adhere to the specified heights in another town. Everything actually related the height of avatars provided in another town. Would you see the avatar, the very first avatar, Robin, sit on the chair? Their height is about 180 centimeters. So the heights are set to be appropriate for avatars to sit and stand naturally without looking upwards. So the height of desk means from the ground to the shelf, and chairs means from the ground to the place the
Where you
avatars
sit.
put the place. Yes. And next is texture. Now another town does not currently support real-time writing. So texture is important tool in achieving visual fidelity. For texturing, it is recommended to use JPG format for textures in your models. Please note that use JPG images for your space. Is it cool?
Yep.
Okay. The next one is about collision box. When it comes to collision box, please pay attention to the prefix. As shown in the table, there are two types of collision boxes provided. You can use any collision box type by using prefix. Note that collision boxes have directions like the images which is that placed in the center of the slide. But if collision boxes are flipped, avatars may get stuck. So please attention their directions of collision box.
Would you mind going more in detail as to why those characters get stuck for anyone who doesn't know?
Oh.
You can do a very simple explanation if you want.
Okay. How can I say it? Oh, our designer can explain about it.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
If you see the face orientation as the blue face, you can go through the wall. You can go through the boxes. But if the character is facing the red wall or red color face, you cannot go through. So in this captured image, if the character is inside the box, character character cannot go through when it's blue face. Character can go through if it's a red face. So if character is facing red face, you cannot go inside the box. So so if you see the image, if the box is consisted of the red faces, character can go through the wall, and if they go outside of the box, they will see the blue face outside of the box, so they can go inside. So they are gonna be stuck outside of the world.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So so please be cautious about the orientation of the collision boxes. And I'm gonna mention about caution mark, about comment with a caution mark. This one. When creating a space, the floor collision box is very important in another town. The floor collision box serves as the ground in the virtual space, like left side. Then Robin can stand on the floor. But without a floor collision box, like
It would fall down.
Yeah, right side of Robin, then Robin may repeatedly fall at the spawn point. So please remember to include a floor collision box in your space. Okay, for the next.
Perfect.
Yeah. Next one is about exports. Actually, regarding the export method, there will be detailed explanations from the designer, Hyun, after my presentation. So let me just skip it for now and wait for the design session. If
Yes.
necessary, guidance image on the export path chapter would be helpful, like this. And if you have any other questions or need further assistance, then feel free to ask at next session. For the last, the file size is important, just like the design outcome and modeling methods. In order for another town to function properly, the file sizes should be within the limits shown in the table. There are three kinds of size: file size and polygon counts and texture resolution. If the file size or if the any size exceeds these limits, it may result in disrupt service, like inability to enter a space or sudden logouts. So keep in mind these limits of size.
Yeah, I think most of people who are watching this are very familiar with file size limitations, polygon counts, texture resolution limitations. I think that is pretty clear for everybody.
Yes. And
do you have maybe another question? Just because I see this, do you have some size limitations in terms of the meter size of the space?
No, there's no limitation for meter size.
Perfect.
Yeah. And lastly, this is not mentioned in the guidelines, I know. It's the process for uploading to another town from creator. First, in the beginning, we plan to operate a Slack channel to allow creator to upload freely. So if someone mentioned or upload their spaces within the Slack channel, then we're gonna upload that space in another town. And I think creator needs information about Slack channels, then we will share the channel information as soon as possible.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. That's all the prepared contents. Now it's time for the designer to present the demonstration with using Blender. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you,
Yeah.
Bei. I think it was very clear. Let's get over to... Yep. Also, don't forget to unmute yourself before you start presenting. Rion.
I might have to use base microphone because
Okay.
there's no issue in my...
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it works too. Could you go a little bit closer maybe? You're a bit too low at the moment. Just a little bit closer if you could. Nice, that looks good.
It's okay now?
1 sec. Try again.
Hello.
Yes.
You good?
Yeah, I think it's okay. Go ahead. Thank you very much. Perfect.
You're welcome. Can you see the Blender?
Yes, we can. It looks great.
Live. Like you see, it's the final version that is uploaded on our another town service. And first of all, let me show you the face orientation of the world. So in this overlay tab in Blender, if you check this here, you can see the face orientation in the geometry tab. So be sure to check as much as possible while you are working on it. So the face orientation is necessary when you're baking the texture and also when you're making the collision box, as mentioned before. So if you see the collision box alone itself, it just looks like this. So when all the models and assets are uploaded, and if they are all ready in this space, after that you have to work on the collision box. Yep, and also make sure if you are using the light, the all assets should be baked like this, because we are not supporting real-time lighting in this time. So make sure all the assets are baked so that your intentions of the lighting are included in the texture. So you see, like all the textures are baked like this. So yeah, I think
Makes sense.
yeah, if the creators watching this is done with baking, you should make the collision box for the next, and the next issue is the exporting. So let me just show you. In the export tab, you will have to check GLT here. If you check here, you have to make the visible object checked and leave the transform like this. Maybe you can use compression tab. I go on with like 2222, and if the space includes the animation, you have to uncheck the group by NLA track here. But if you're like uploading the character assets, which has a bone inside, you have to check the NLA track. So in this case, we don't have animation, but if like for example the chair is moving like this, you have to uncheck the NLA track. And other things, you just have to like go for the normal settings, and you can export, and after that you can send the JB file for our Slack channel.
Perfect.
And
So are there any other things you want to show in this presentation other than those few parts with baking and with the collision boxes?
Maybe I can show you the like rough size of the space right here.
Sure.
Please be aware that our character size is almost close to the real world person, and it is set to 1.8 meters for the male character. And so, like as mentioned before, our chair and tables has a like specific limitation in terms of its scale, but mostly we use the real world scale. But if the space is big enough, maybe the assets would be looking too small. So you should playing with the scales of the assets. And in terms of the space, you can see it's like 7.5 meters, which is a little bit too large for the real world space, but
Here it works.
Yeah, but
because
like,
it's very decorated, and so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
looks better. Okay.
And like our camera in our another town service maybe like placed like positions like this.
Mhm.
So if the ceiling is like placed too low,
The camera will bug out. You will not
Yeah,
have
yeah.
good angles.
Yeah,
Makes
for
sense.
sure. And
Okay.
one more important thing is that you have to make the wall like as one faces. In this space, we have thickness to the wall, but in this case, the camera can like move around here, which makes very annoying.
Mhm.
So you have to always check the back face calling in the material tab, so that if there's like single layer wall is here, and if you check backface calling, is the wall is invisible, although the camera is going outside of it.
Got it.
Yep. So so make sure to check backface calling, and yeah, that's I think that's all I can say about.
Do you have some visual tips? I think you surely have worked on a lot of different spaces. Do you have some creative tips as to how to best create a space for another town?
Like we don't have like specific art directions right now, so we welcome all the creators' visions. But in my case, we are creating like K-pop spaces, so I had to check the updated and like what's popular right now. Mostly, I use Pinterest, or maybe all creators might use, and so I get the inspirations from the Pinterest, and but if I'm creating the space, I don't check the space image in the Pinterest as an inspiration. I use like some of the like product designs. Well, I see like commercials, and I have the inspirations from all of those stuff.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's definitely interesting to talk with creators how they get their ideas with different spaces. I'm sure if you're working with K-pop clients, then you have to really browse through all that information. There's really quite a lot there. Cool. Awesome. I think it looks great. Do you have I would have some other questions maybe on the technical front. I know this was not completely part of the presentation, but you mentioned maybe whether you want to take it Hyon or if you want to take it Bay, doesn't matter, whoever wants to take the question. You mentioned currently we need to go through Slack and give you the GLB files so that you can upload them in the future. How do you see this evolve in the future so that people would be able to publish themselves without going through the manual process of putting it in? How do you see that future for another town?
Yes. Okay.
Robin?
Your turn. TPM.
In the beginning, we think Slack channel is enough to upload the space from the creators in another town, and then after that, we just made another channel, not a Slack, just like the special site tour. I don't know what the exact forms, but we just made some kind of programs for creators to upload their space.
Actually, we are planning to make providing some automatically uploading some creators, some toolkits for this year.
Nice.
But we are developing some more requirements for uploading automatically for creators. It needs for making some development requirement for performance and a lot of things to do for making that. So
Yeah.
we are testing and hearing some opinions for creators, and I hope to make some creators who wants to have ideas for make it better, uploading some assets for creation tools for our another town. So we have some ideas for that, and we are preparing that.
How do you do, maybe another technical question I'm sure some people are asking themselves, how do you do the technical linking? So let's say you want to have a space, and in that space you can click on an item and it puts you in another application or another site. How does that work currently?
Yes,
It's done by you guys internally?
yes. For now, we are giving the creators for making for maximize their effect for real-time communication. It is important for us to give the users for speed, for low latency, so we are making performance for downloading for only a few seconds. So we are giving them some optimization for making their assets by our own technology. So we are in the
Yep.
future we think that we have to give the creators to automatically optimize their assets to unlock them. We are developing that technology, and in that case, creators can unlock the site, and they are optimize their assets for make it new, beautiful asset purchase spaces. So we are preparing that for automatically.
Cool. So I think, Robin, I think we went over all these things with Bay and Hayon. Thank you very much for your technical specs. I think all the people in the chat found it really, really clear. We'll share it again. Obviously, once we'll work on projects together, there might be some things where we'll need to go back and forth and specify some details again. But I think before we get into the questions and the Q&A, if anyone has questions, Robin, what are the next steps for Another Town in the next 3 to 6 months? What are you working on currently? We covered a few things, but if you want to summarize it.
Yeah, we are planning to concentrate on the communication by avatar in virtual spaces. We are have a goal or mission or vision to give the end user to communicate in the virtual spaces for their communication communities by avatar. So we are developing to generative AI avatar features, or is another product. It's named as a trained AI. So we are integrate the trained AI to the Another Town to give the end user and creators to select the avatars and customize their avatar and synthesizing their faces and bodies just a few seconds. It is you heard that about avatars Ready Player Me in US. We are giving that technology into Another Town, maybe around June to July. The end user or creator can use that. And the next step is for giving them to automatically unloading the assets for creators tokens. And as I said, the most important thing for making it is giving them the high speed and giving them automatically optimizations by website. So we are developing that in the future.
Awesome. Sounds great. Great plan for the year. I'm very excited about how you plan on training your avatar AIs. I think that's really interesting to see.
I will give some updated news for you for next live session for my avatars with Sandstorm. Yeah,
exactly. I'm looking forward to that one. I think we have one question by Iratos. He was asking, what was the extension of the file that you used for the assets? Not exactly sure what he's asking with this, but if you guys know.
Extension file that is for assets.
You have to use GLD format.
Okay, if that was the question, I didn't fully understand it, but yeah, I think The formatting, yes, is GLB. How you need to export. Okay. And yeah, I think any other questions from anyone in the live viewers currently? Let us know. I think the presentation was very clear. You guys did an awesome job, and I think you will have more questions in the next few days and weeks once people will actually revisit the masterclass and start working on projects. So yeah, I think as a final note, maybe for people, you mentioned before you wanted to use Sandstorm because you wanted to create some accessories for the avatars in the future. What are other ways that people can expect to see another town use Sandstorm, and how can they be excited about this partnership between us?
Oh, very nice. I'm proud of it. I get some news in South Korea for your partnership with us. Yes, very nice. And yes, I hope that our business more better for creators and users. Metaverse, yes.
Nice. And I'm looking forward to also showing your product to companies and seeing how they react to it, and if they like the interactivity and how it can be used in businesses. We have a couple of options, but I think your product is pretty good on that aspect. Okay, awesome. I think I don't see any more questions. I think it was a really good session. Everything was clear. I also got some feedback privately that thanked me. They said it was very nice. So yeah, I think we can close off the session if you don't want to address anything else. Thank you very much, Robin, Bay, Hayon, and Sean for organizing this and being here today. I hope you all had a fun time, and we'll see each other again.
Thank
See you
you.
again. Bye.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye.
Thank you for taking interest.